Okay, Professor Moldiff here. I am going to go over with you on assignment 7.5 for our Excel assignment on correlation and regression. This is was your first assignment where we didn't have video, but I'm doing this video to help you review or go back over it just in case you miss anything and you wanted to figure out how to do something. I'll do 3 different videos. We have 3 different tabs there at the bottom: experience, restaurant ratings, and auto insurance rates. And I will go over the experience tab in this video. So over here on the right, we see that it asks us, it says the first thing to do is, well, the data is years of experience and expected salary. And we're going to create a scatter plot and see if there's any correlation in this and if we can predict. So the first thing it asks us to do is to create a scatter plot with years of experience on the x-axis and salary on the y-axis. So I'll just come over here to B3, highlight that, shift and my right button, then shift command or shift control down, highlight that. There's my data. I'm going to go to insert and I'm going to choose scatter plot. Okay. And I'm going to be a little bit quicker in doing this than I normally would, just because this should be the third time that you're dealing with scatter plots, second or third time you're dealing with scatter plots, and you need to get a little bit more comfortable doing charts and all of that. So the second thing it asks us to do after our scatter plot is to add a trend line. So just click on any of these blue dots, right click, add trend line. Now my trend line comes up as a dotted line, and I don't want a dotted line. So over on the right, we have a format trend line, and I'm going to go into and choose solid line. And then I got to change my dash type to solid. And then the other thing I'm going to do is what it asks us to do is display the equation on the chart. Oh, and I want my trend line to be blue. So I'm going to change that to blue. But step number 3 says display equation on chart. So I'm in my trend line options. And you may have to scroll down depending on where it is and display equation on chart. It also asks you to display R squared value on chart. So we're going to do that. Okay. Then it asks in step number 5 to format the chart. So the first thing I'm going to do is make my equation a little bit bigger. Just easier to read. Might bold that. Okay. It also asks us to add a title, horizontal, vertical axis, put a border around it. But the other thing I'm going to do is get rid of these vertical lines. I'll highlight them and delete them, so it just makes it a little easier to read. I'm going to change this to salary based on years of experience. Okay. There's my title on my chart. Bring it back over here. Okay. We've talked about this before on making it descriptive in your title so that people understand. It also says to add your X and Y axes titles. So I'll click on the chart, go to chart design, add chart element, axes titles. I'll do the horizontal first, which is years of experience. If I just click on there, I can then come to my function bar and type in there years of experience. Okay. And enter. And then while it's there, I'll go into my home and make it just a little bit bigger. I'll do 12 point and bold it. And now I can go back to my chart design. I'm going to add chart element. I'm going to do my vertical. Same thing, I'll put my cursor in there, then come over here and expected salary, return, and then while it's there, I will go into the home. I will also make that a 12-point font and bold it. Okay. And I'll bold my title. The other thing it asks us to do is put a border around it. So I'll click on my chart, go up here into format, next to shape fill, it's our shape outline, and choose black as a border title. So now we've formatted the scatter plot, okay, with the title and axes, horizontal and vertical axes title, and put a border around it and formatted it a little bit better. Okay, so easier to see and read. The next, it says use the Correl function to determine correlation. So up here in correlation, our instructions is fill in the information. So equals Correl. It asks for array 1, and in correlation, it does not matter what the X or the Y is, but in regression and on determination, we do need to know X and Y are not interchangeable. So in here, I will go ahead and do my X and then my Y axes. My X is my independent variable, and my Y is my dependent variable. So shift command down, so B4 to B33, and do not use the label up there. Don't use years of experience. And then comma, and my array 2 is there. C4 to C33, return. And my correlation is 0.9782. And if we remember, that means it's very highly correlated. And I'll just take that down to 4 decimal points. My R squared is, it's here on the graph, 0.957. But we want you to do it mathematically, which is correlation squared, so equals my correlation, shift 6, and square is 2. And so that is my R squared, which it determines how much of the line is determinant off of how much of the expected salary is determined off of years of experience. You can determine it approximately 95% of the time, or 95% of the salary is based off years of experience. Just ask you to fill in a few bits of information so we understand. What's the slope? Y equals mx plus b. Our y equals mx. M is our slope. So we have our equation there. So our slope is 94.50. Our intercept, so salary start, our base salary rate is $25,792 a year. And for every year of experience, it goes up by almost $10,000. And I'll format those into accounting just because they are numerical. I mean, they are monetary. And then get rid of the decimal points in there. Now, you don't have to do that. Didn't ask to do that. But this is just for better understanding. Now, equation is y equals mx plus b. I want you to write out the equation. You can write it as y, or you can type salary equals, okay, years of experience. Okay, so it's years of experience. So I'm just going to do experience, and that's multiplied by your slope. So years of experience times 9,450. Close that, plus my intercept, which is 25,792. Okay, so that's my equation, and I'll just make this a little bit easier to read. Add some space in there. So that's my equation. So now here is expected salary with 12 years of experience. So this is my equation. It's equals 12 times 9450. Close that, and then add that to your intercept, 25,792, and hit return. And we can expect that 12 years of experience, your salary would be $139,192. And I'm going to go ahead and make that a numerical. I like using accounting over currency. And I like doing that because it left justifies the $ and doesn't put the $ next to the numbers. Now, on your quiz, it asks you, the first question is, what is the slope? Hopefully you can figure off the slope. We already did that. The next question is, what's the expected salary for 15 years of experience? So right here, we did it with 12 years of experience. I can just copy that down, and I'll take 12 and change it to 15 and return. And we see that your expected salary is $167,542. That was your answer for your quiz. So this completes this portion of the quiz and questions 1 and 2 and experience on this assignment. So if you need help, go back and redo it. But good job. Thank you.